floor for questions for Coach.
Are the Giants playing this weekend? It's a little salty, sorry. Vikes just took the postseason off this year.
Yeah, we need a rest.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Did you finish The Shining, or did you watch Michigan State?
I watched Michigan State. Yeah, they're a terrific team. Obviously, Tom Izzo's Hall of Fame coach, legendary for getting his teams play with such great aggressiveness and physicality. Their transition is really good. Their passing is really, really good. And then, of course, that physicality part on defense and rebounding, really kind of unparalleled. You don't see it to the level. And they lost Miles Bridges and Jaren Jackson, who were phenomenal players, and they've got plenty of talent behind them.
What kind of problems does Cassius Winston pose for you?
Yeah. He's an elite point guard, not only in our league but in the country. He's so good in transition, and he makes very good decisions. He's one of those guys and he can score. That I think. Not only is he the ultimate teammate, setup guy, quarterback for the team, stands eye to eye with Coach Izzo, and you have to commend him on that. But he can score the ball too. He really shoots it. He knows what the team needs. He's an elite player.
How do you kind of balance maybe having an underdog mentality versus saying, you know what, we're pretty good and we can play with these guys, or do you even try to do?
Well, I feel like an underdog, so we'll be fine with the underdog mentality. You got to fight these guys. You got to run to the fight, and anything less will get you. I mean this in the most complimentary way, but they are like sharks. If you put a little blood in the water, man, it's over. It's a feeding frenzy.
After going back and watching the film from Indiana, what's maybe sustainable about what you guys did defensively and rebounding-wise that can carry over?
I think we just caught Indiana on a bad night.
Michigan State's obviously very big. They rebound very well. You haven't been able to do that very well. Without giving me your game plan, what do you do differently?
Yeah, you got to catch a body. You just got to put a body on those guys and fight back. Like too many times, we almost like shield ourselves. We stand in front of them and check out, but we're not. And they're, fighting us down, and we don't fight back. We got to fight back.
That said, you guys lead the Big Ten, one of the top in the nation in steals, and I think they're dead last in the conference in turnover margin. Is that part of bringing the fight, is being a little more aggressive with your pressure on ball in the backcourt?
Well, you have to balance the on ball with not fouling or creating offense. So we certainly need great ball pressure because that's the key to all of defense in my book. How do you create turnovers? Usually you make them play in traffic. They go so fast, they're going to make some anyway. That goes with their territory, but you've got to really get to your help spots early, and you have to be ready. If you're just kind of going through the motions because they run a lot of actions, so a lot of it might be false actions, so they got a double stagger into something, their good stuff later, but you go to sleep on that double stagger and don't get back in your spot, you're going to get hurt. So we just have to really be aware and constantly check ourselves with awareness defensively to make them play in a crowd. Then maybe we can turn them over.
How's Tanner feeling?
He had it today, and I have not seen him yet, but he'll be fine. I've had 20 root canals. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Have you really?
You don't get a smile like this without having to pay for it. Right, Olin? Dr. Olin? My dentist has like a new sports car and a lake house. Just put it that way.
Tim, what's been so key or instrumental to this 20-game home winning streak that you've got on the line here?
Our fans have been really good. I think that the environment and the noise, from game management all the way down to create that energy level, I think is really important. And certainly it's the chicken or the egg. You need a good team, but our fans have been really, really responsive. And I think that's given the guys confidence. And sometimes maybe when they're a little tired, it's given them a little extra boost of energy. But I think that as you look at this, it was important. We were also 8-8 3 years ago at home. And, coming off that season with last season's team, like one of the things was, listen, we need to find an edge back for Pinnacle Bank Arena and get it where it belongs. And the guys have really responded that, it's meaningful to this group to play well at home. Now you want to play well everywhere, but sometimes you have to, some things require extra attention. And defending your home court, I think, was something that we talked about last year and then it's carried over to this year. because of the streak.
What,
Chicken and who's the egg on
Yes.
Thursday.
Exactly. Well, it's that chicken or the eggs, like a basketball coach and another basketball coach talking about pivoting or screening or defense or offense. It's whoever has the piece of chalk last wins. You know, I mean, that's the way it goes.
what message would you have for the fans with the 6th-ranked team coming
Yeah.
in?
Well, if you think of this in a perspective in college basketball, we have a 20 win home winning streak, right? A 20-game home winning streak, and our opponents have a 19-game winning streak in the league. I don't think there's another game like this in the country this week. You know, it's a pretty remarkable run by both teams, and one of them is going to end. You know, and I know which one I'm pulling for, but I think that if you look at it, our fans are going to want to be at that game, and I hope it's standing room only.
How have you guys responded to the Indiana win and the Michigan State challenge?
Good. I mean, the first thing they requested is that last year's tape does not exist. Don't show us last year's game, and that is yet to be determined. We'll see how they practice today.
Tim, you just outlined, you know, it's all at stake here and all involved with the game. Have you spoke to your team about those things, or do you kind of insulate yourself from the external factors?
I think we'll address it because they've probably heard it. You know, it's out there. I heard it, you know, I mean, and I'm probably not online as much as they are, I hope. And when you look at this, I think that if you don't address it, you're just doing it wrong. I think that they need to hear it. I don't think you dwell on it. I just think, hey, this is what the deal is. Something's got to give.
How unique is it for an offensive team that has had the success that they've had, you know, this year to be as good defensively and vice versa? I mean, you don't usually see, you know, with the pace and all that stuff, for a team to be as good as they are on both ends.
Yeah, you know, that's what makes Coach Israel such a, you know, an icon, is that he does such a great job with that team. And I was just talking to Armand Gates, who's got the scout, and he walked in. We were talking about practice. I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to score on these guys. I mean, like, I don't see it. And you know, they're just to have that uniqueness. You know, a lot of times you see a really a team wealthy of talent, and so maybe they can really score. But you know that, hey, maybe we can catch them here or there. And there's just not many weaknesses with Michigan State.
Isaiah's coming in here later. What has he done in the last few games to really make a difference?
I just love his mindset. I think his mindset's been one of playing strong, playing aggressive, not letting a mistake get him down. He's shown more discipline, staying out of foul trouble and just staying steady. He's a very smart player, and you know, last year he kind of turned it on in the Big Ten season too. I think he really loves that competition and that challenge of going up against the best, and he's worthy, man. He's here to help us beat the best.
The team's starting to guard James the way they do. Do you think Monday was maybe one of his best all-around games?
Yeah, James, you know, when you have the line he did, you know, that's almost a triple-double, it shows, you know, he was driving in, and Indiana literally had 4 bodies ready to contest him. And for him to fan it out and find guys. In fact, we had that big run where we didn't score, that lengthy scoring drought. And guys got wide open shots. There was probably 4 or 5 wide open shots we just missed, and a lot of those were right from James. So he's doing an exceptional job. I don't think, you know, if he gets going in transition, usually he's going to score a lot. He didn't get to the foul line very much, but he still found a way to do it.
Hey, you talked about your guards needing to help rebounding. When he gets 9, like, how much does that help?
Yeah, we need him. Like, our guards have to clean up. You know, it's not the obligation of just the 2 big guys to rebound. You know, James we play him at the wing. He needs to get in there. Tom Allen had 6 the game before. We need to do a better and better job with those guys because we play 2 small guys. And then we have good length outside of that. But Amir Harris has done a good job rebounding, and hopefully maybe he'll get, you know, a little bit of run on this too.
Hey, Bill Moose was at the game in Indiana, I guess. Did he say anything to you after the win?
Yeah.
What did that mean for you to have him make the trip to a road game?
Bill was just like, that was very impressive, very complimentary, and it was great to have him there. It's fun to have. We had a great group of donor group and fans that came in and filled it up, and it's always fun for those guys to get to see, you know, some of these other places and you know, how fun it is to win on the road and stuff like that. And it's very difficult, but it was great to have him there.
This home stretch over the rest of the month, you know, a lot of opportunity for you guys. Obviously, you're focused on Michigan State right now, but just how important is it when you look at the grand scheme of this season, these next 3 home games especially?
Well, I had to ask Seamus what the rest of the month looked like for schedule, and he told me, but I'm not sure I remember. Wisconsin's in there, I remember that. So, yeah, it'll be, we've been on the road plenty, and now we get, some home, but we can't assume that just because we're at home, it's going to go well for us. You got to keep earning that. So we're excited to keep the guys here and play well in front of our fans, but at the same time, I don't think we're taking anything for granted.
Going back to Bill Moose, how often do you speak with him during the season, and what's that relationship like between the two of you?
It's a very good relationship in my book, and I think it is with him too. Bill is a hands-off guy. He's not a guy, and he'll tell you, like, I'm not going to be looking over your shoulder at practice if you need me. And when I need Bill, I ask him, and he doesn't always say yes. And I suppose, the yin and yang of being a coach and an administrator, but he's very helpful too, and is great for providing resources that we need to be successful. So I think we have a good relationship, and I look forward to it to continue.
James had that stretch where it seemed like he couldn't miss from 3, struggled a little bit, maybe come back down to earth. Are you happy with the shots that he's taking? Is it just a matter of them not falling out?
I don't like his balance. I thought he landed on 1 foot 3 or 4 times the other night, and he's got to stick his landing better. So we're going to work on that as we speak.
When you guys caught Michigan State last year, that was kind of before he had his explosion, I guess, scoring-wise. Is there...
I don't think it would have mattered that night.
No.
Yeah, they were running everybody out of the gym. Remember, they were up like 30 at halftime against Notre Dame, who was nationally ranked. And then we roll in, and it's just as bad. That was a squad.
Michigan and Michigan State are kind of the bar for the Big Ten. Are you curious to see kind of how you guys stack up to?
Yeah, I am. I'm curious. I'm excited. I'm all of them.
Anything else for Coach?
I'm trying to not get my leg going here. Simple got me last week. So, all right, thank you.
Thanks.